Hello and welcome back to me being terribly unprepared to actually start recording, apparently, which is par for the course for everything I do, apparently. Anyway, the last set looks alright from what I checked. It doesn't seem to be desynced. It's only an hour long though, to be fair, and it happens randomly. But anyway, I looked at the objectives, and I've been keeping more or less track of the chapter objectives, which are kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things here, because they're kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things here. They just give you rewards. I don't think they provide any sort of storyline beyond the little bit of text down here. I don't know if that's a storyline anyway, but I haven't been looking at the ultimate objectives on screen. I had been looking at this off screen between recordings, like right before I start, like I just did again. And I thought I'd show it to you because we're actually remarkably close to finishing. And, well, no, because I had to, well, maybe. We have exactly the number of settlements we need. And I don't know if that's because of Sparta and Athens. I don't remember if they're military allies. They might be. They probably are. But what we are missing is naval units, which we're going to build more of those. Apparently we need a lot. I forgot how powerful of a naval force Egypt actually was. But we also need Italia, which if you don't know what Italia is, it is the center part of Italy. Well, I guess that is the center part of Italy. This is North Italy up here. But anyway, we need this, which Rome foolishly has failed to hold. Who's this? Freaking Libya exists now? When did Libya start existing? And Carthage owns Carthage again. Interesting. Or Carthago, whatever you want to call it. But we still have this Boii problem, so I want to just take Italia, sorry, and just hold off Boii, which shouldn't be too hard to hold them off. It only really becomes an issue once you're attacking. You can hold people off without too much trouble. Especially if you have naval superiority, which we do quite handily by the looks of things. Maybe we'll scoop up there and grab some cities with these fleets or whatever, I'm not sure. Either way, we're actually a lot closer to finishing this than I thought we were, because I was running on the co-op objectives, which the co-op objectives I think is 160 settlements. I believe it also depends on who you play as what regions you need. I think I was playing Seleucid, and my co-op ally was playing Rome, so we needed North Britain and Ireland, and or Scotland and Ireland if you prefer. It's North Britannia. Is it Britannia at this point? I don't think it's Britannia at this point. I don't know what those regions are called. And then we needed some stuff over here in Italy and things, but either way, we just need Italia and some fleets. So I'm going to try to do that without triggering the next step in Imperium, because the next step in Imperium is going to make people very upset with me. Why is this not building? When did I save? I saved right at the end of that set, didn't I? I clicked continue campaign at the bottom of the main menu. If you've played the game before, you know there's a continue campaign. If you don't, there's a continue campaign button. I clicked that. And it appears to have loaded me back in where I was, but for some reason that's not building, and I don't recall stopping that. Either way, we'll get some more... I'm not too concerned. We'll get some more navies up as quickly as we can, and maybe we'll push for a bum rush of Italia here, whilst we hold off Boii... Is that That is Bactria. Well... I thought they were dead, but still, they're far enough away from me and they're at war with everyone over there all the time that I'm not concerned at all. I am concerned with this, though. I think it'll be maybe 2 more turns before that army in Antioch is finished building, so... In the meantime, we have a bit of a leak on our northeastern flank there. Which isn't good, but it's also not the end of the world. Oh, Armenia's pulling into this. Yeah, sure. I mean, you're not going to keep that town. In fact, yeah, sure, I'll take the captives, even though it wasn't my fight. I don't know why you can do that. I have no idea why you're allowed to take captives when you're not the one who started the fight. It's very goofy. Anyway, there's my vassal being useless. There's my other vassal being useless. I also hate that it does this. I think it does this in every Total War game, to be fair, but when it goes, or at least the later ones, I don't know about like the original Rome and Shogun and stuff like that, but when it goes into an encounter, it zooms in and spins the camera around to give you a nice view of the two characters clashing, or the boat in the city in that case. But it doesn't reset your camera. So now we're like all sorts of upside down, zipping around the map here. What was that, Admiral? Fair enough. Shallow seas, no replenishment or recruitment available. Is that included over here? Yes, over here? Appears to be. Why are we not getting any recruitment? Is it because I don't have any yards over here? What yards? Ports? That's what they're called. I was going for shipyard, but I forgot the ship part. So we don't get replenishment here. They have a replenishment modifier. What in port? Do I have a port in this region? I don't even know what the size of this region is. I think, yeah, I have this. You know what? These guys need to replenish, so I'm just going to ignore the fact that he has that point. So we're going to send them all the way. He did like a little loop there at the end for some reason. We're going to send them all the way back. Realized they just got over here, but I thought they would reinforce over there. I wasn't paying attention. So they'll reinforce. We've decided not to build this because I thought we had less food than we did, but apparently we don't. I swear I didn't tell it to stop building that. Maybe I did though. What we could do is build up this fleet and then just create a second one. I think we're gonna need that anyway. We're gonna go crazy, by the way. I realize this is not like an optimal fleet construction, but that is the fleet. I also realize you shouldn't just stack up 5 turns worth of stuff to build in a single unit. The reason I do that is because I have money and I'm lazy. So you guys have levy. Like, even at this point in the game, the AI builds a lot of levy. And I don't, that's boy, surely they have the money to support proper armies and stuff. Don't I have a third army over here? Oh, he went that way, that's right. Okay. Do you want both armies over there? Could send one to Olbia. That puts them a bit far away from everyone else. I think we're gonna wrap. What's the fastest way to there? That way. I guess we'll just keep going this way then, because apparently that's the direction we're going anyway. In fact, you double time it so we can get all of them in a nice bundle over here. Or at least, yeah, they should be in reinforcement range of each other, so. Stack everyone up. That's probably going to be my entire turn. This dude has no food. Righty has no food. Haha, it's not just me that runs out of food. And someone did point out you can put your dudes on boats and they stop suffering attrition, which makes no sense. Which they also mentioned. Makes no sense that you can do that, but technically the sea region is a different region, which doesn't have a food stat, so it's always 0 as far as I care. As far as the game cares, probably as well. Where is this? I don't know where that town is. But you can put them on boats and they won't suffer attrition because the zone they're in doesn't have negative food. And it's, you know, technically not your zone, so it's a bit weird like that. You can also do what I did a bit later in that set and stuff your people onto someone else's territory. And you'll stop suffering attrition. No, Sparta, go north. You have a town up there. Sparta actually has quite the military. I realize it's Sparta and that's what they do, but they have quite the military. Imagine if their AI was any good, they would expand quite well. Imagine if Rome's AI was any good, they would own half of the map at this point. But they don't. Because they aren't. They're also still at war with Carthage. Forever and always. You could probably, I like how I keep that guy in forced march all the time for no reason. You could probably finish that war with Carthage really fast. Normally when I play Rome, and this is not the way you should play Rome, but normally when I play Rome, you finish off the Etruscan League, which starts with warrior.
There is a time when warriors must sheath the sword.
No. You have no food, and I want your land. Why would I want peace with you? Anyway, I would take out the Etruscan League, vassalize them, or just take their land. I don't care which. Take land is easier. They tried to poison me, eh? Bunch of peace. Alright. And immediately go for Carthage instead of taking North Italy. This is not recommended in any way, shape, or form, but I could take that with that army, but considering we have armies that are going to be passing by anyway, may as well do that. And then punch them. So this is going to meet that secondary requirement. Also, it's going to be an auto-resolve because I have 3 armies here. And the AI has nothing, and we're going to raise it to the ground. That's such a weird saying, raise it to the ground. Ooh, hello there, my friend. Alright, let's go ahead and convert you and build up happy things and cultural conversion things. I do this a lot as well. I'll take one province in a zone and make it a cultural thing if I have to. Obviously I don't have to here because everything is already more or less the same culture that I need it to be. But you take the first city in a region like this one, put a bunch of cultural and happiness stuff on it, and that allows you to take the other stuff in that region very quickly without too much unhappiness. There's nothing else really that I need that doesn't take a billion turns. I guess we could do this. It would make me richer. I could build academia, which increases my research rate for other more useful things. I think we will do that. We should probably do something about that spy. At some point. I will leave the people in the army for now. Or the person. What happened to the other people? Where did they go? I had other agents, and I thought I told them to get in the army. Did they implode? There's one of them, apparently. Where's the other one at? Is that you? There you are. You do something about this guy. 41%? Sure. There we go. Hooray! Problem solved. And now we got a lot of people that need a promotion and level and bollocks. I don't remember the path I need him to take. You need spy, so you can poison people. In fact, he should be poisoning people constantly, but... Oh, that trait's so good, but... There's so many traits. Does he have dread? He doesn't have dread. Oh no, wait. Is it this tree that gets dread? I think it is this tree that gets dread. That's really good. Plus 8% morale for all units. Medium siege I don't care about because we don't use it anyway, really. Let's take Grand Camp Following, that's pretty good.
I live to serve Pharaoh.
Or is it this branch that gets dread? I don't remember. Either way, you're a general. Be a general.
How can I assist Pharaoh?
You... Grab that. And that's it. Alrighty. And that should have completed our... Yeah. So next turn it'll tell us about our next chapter objective, assuming there is another chapter objective. I actually don't know how many chapters there are in any given campaign. I don't know if they ever end, or maybe it just goes to 10 or something like that. Realistically, you would complete the campaign well before you actually complete some of these freaking objectives. Like hold one settlement in 11 different provinces is potential for a lot of total settlements. Boy has a lot of armies, which is to be expected, to be fair. They're quite large. Why can I suddenly see all of that? Also, I should check our east side to see how that's doing, because it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on over there. Mostly regarding Armenia.
Perhaps.
How are you up there?
I ask with all due respect for your august self. You could let
How
us
do you
have
own
some
that?
money.
Sure, I guess. How does he own this crap over here? Why does he own that crap over there? How did he get that land? When did he get that land? Why did he get that land? Maybe that's why he lost his original homeland. He's migrated east. Pergamon is also migrating east, apparently. Everyone's migrating east, except for Axum, which is going to suspiciously guard my capital. Thankfully, I do not believe the AI is quite that backstabby. Now, if it was another player, they would march right up to your city. Generally a bunch of different cities. And then go to war with you and then take all of those cities in one turn. I have a feeling taking Italia is going to be slightly more difficult than I anticipate. Because there's a lot of stuff showing up there. Hold at least bonus objectives, 1 of 3, because I don't care. What's our next one? Woe to the vanquished. Subjugate 13 different factions. I have long since completed that, I'm pretty sure, unless it doesn't go back. I don't have any elephants. Oh, I've already got 9, apparently. I thought I did more than that, but 9, there you go. So we've already completed that bonus objective. Not that, because I don't hold the entirety of either of those, because Maine is over there, and not that, because I'm not building elephants for whatever reason. Either way, we will upgrade you because you give food, and there's not very many of those style cities in Egyptian or Eastern lands, which disappoints me, but whatever. So you've been poisoned, which means someone's spy ran through here. Or someone's spy gathered information, which would explain why I can see this stuff. Either way, what do you have? Celtic warriors, spear, veteran spears. Veteran spears are very good. They take a while to take down. He's got some ballista. Not really very much. And I can siege that city immediately with all of these armies. Which one of you would be the best sieger? Technically this guy, isn't it? Yep. Not that it matters who's the best sieger, but he would be the one. Ooh. They have an additional army over here, don't they? Or is that... Yeah, they have an additional army over here somewhere. Supposedly. So we'll get... Siege tower. I don't know. A battering ram. Another siege tower if we sit here that long. Is it another one or is it just the garrison? It might just be the garrison. I hate how it shows up like they have a general or something. So one of these armies needs to be far enough away to block him, like that, but close enough to reinforce those guys. So that army is now the blocker.
How may I serve you?
So we're just gonna sit there for a bit. We could take this town now. It would be a heck of a fight, but we could take the town now. We, however, are going to wait for our siege equipment before we do anything. Unless they come out and attack us, they can do that, I don't care. And we'll have a large field battle on our hands, and I would love to build more of this stuff. We'll build a shipwright because it doesn't take food. But I'm unsure of how much food we're going to have because this takes another 4. And I need you to go this way. Holy crap, you can go a long way. I forgot quite how far you can go in your own land. So you're still sitting there. Let's look at the diplomap over here on the east. Not a whole lot is happening, actually. It's this guy, isn't it? Yeah. He's not at war with Chimeria, so... Chimeria. So the only threat to this nation is Boy, which is quite the threat, I will admit. They're actually quite large. It's possible Boy is actually larger than I am. Because we can't see a huge chunk of land up here that generally Boy owns most of this, if not all of it. I don't know why I talk about this every video, but I do. So then, only thing we're missing, well, we're missing some settlements now because we're losing stuff on the east side, but we'll take those back just by taking Italia anyway. I would like to straight up end this war with Boy, but they're unlikely to take a peace treaty, yeah, because they're quite large. So what's probably going to happen is we're going to have to take all of Dacia, I don't know how to pronounce that, or get ourselves in some position where there's a bottleneck of some type. It looks like, let me check something. Oh boy, it does end that crap. I was gonna say, it looks like we could fairly, well, maybe we still could. We could fairly easily defend ourselves with just 2 armies, one in this town, one in this town. Because the only way from straight north appears to be this road here. Might be able to go through the trees there or something, but AI doesn't do that too much in this game. And of course the east, but I may just start taking cities over there with boats just to irritate them. Slow them down a little bit on the east side, distract them. Yeah. Someone has unassigned skills, I don't care, frankly. I would like to end this at some point. You might have noticed that. And I do not want...
The Senate requests that you join this war as...
And I do not want to take over all of Boy's lands, because that's going to be an extremely long war for a lot of land that I don't want. Also, why is Bactria managing to push back? It's got nothing. Also, I think Alexandria Atacosia has been a rebel settlement for like 50 turns now, maybe more. That settlement is more than likely trashed in its entirety and full of slums, because that's what rebels do. At least I think that's what rebels do. I've never had a town last that long. Hello? Why exactly do we only have 2 armies in this fight? Curious.
regroup and fall back.
Retreat!
Oh, see, now they're gonna retreat in completely different directions. What is this bollocks? Now we're gonna have to fight it with this army. Oh, he got poisoned, that's why. Where did someone come from to poison him? They should have just fought that first one. Well. What do they have? What is this? Oh, they have a freaking onager? What's that bollocks? I don't know the ranges on an onager. This army is nothing special. There's some levy there, but lots of veteran spears and Celtic warriors. Slingers have a lot of ammo and do decent damage, but not too fussed. Either way, we're fighting this, so woohoo! When I retreated that first army, my thought process was the other army will retreat in the same direction. That army is called the Doom of Mid. I like that. If we lose this, which is extraordinarily likely, we're gonna be in some serious trouble here.